Hello gamers, welcome to another DSP video. I did change the audio a little bit more this time around. I kind of like this volume setting a little bit better. I think the only reason why it sounds like I either have a louder voice, I think it's just the room I'm in. It's just, it echoes a little bit. So, you know, I'll keep that in mind and I'll try to balance it out because I think the problem is just I get like really into like arguments, so I get more loud. So I'll try to be reasonable with my tone, but no promises, no promises. I ain't gonna promise shit. But let's get into it. There's only one or so clips I couldn't find. I was trying to find the one where DSP was saying that Kat is very picky about the game she wants to participate in. So I'll just do a little blurb about this because it's ridiculous. He says, well, Kat, she's very selective. She doesn't play Pal World or this or that because he's getting so mad that he can't play the Animal Crossing mode in Like a Dragon yet. And I'm just sitting there like, she's been playing Tekken 8 and she's been liking that game. So why can't they have a Tekken 8 stream together? And DSP's probably gonna pigeonhole that into, well, I'm not gonna fight against her, man. Even though, like, you could just kind of hold back. But whatever, even that aside, he could just do like a survival mode or whatever the fuck in Tekken 8 and then just alternate or whatever. Something like that. But no, we can't possibly do that. Instead, she insists that she only wants to do the island mode in Like a Dragon, which sounds more and more like DSP just doesn't want to read all the tutorial stuff, so he just wants Kat to like be the tutorial for him almost. But that's beside the point. I think he brings up a little bit in the daily reps, so that'd be a little bonus. I do want to start off with this little segment because I think I have a theory. I think the person who submitted this wanted me to react to this. Wanted me to react to him reacting. Okay, let's get into it.
I wasn't sure we were going to be able to do the show this week, but I want to say thank you to all of you who were attentive and listened to my plan to fix it. Thanks to those who upgraded their memberships to the new submissions tier so that this show would not be ruined. I love watching the clips
Loves
that
watching.
guys submit for me and to see, it's variety every week. It's good stuff. And I'm excited to see what this week.
He had to beg and like pull teeth to get people to submit videos, by the way. So he sounds as if it's like, wow, guys, you stepped up, but he like was belly aching the whole time, but whatever.
Simply because of idiotic trolls, and glad it's not. The show goes on as planned, as normal. No issue. I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are too. I thank you all for being here live and for those watching on demand. Remember the way the show works? We start off with Ultra member submissions, meaning people who are the top.
Oh, right. Yeah. Ultra member
is that nonsense. You have to be a...
Oh my god. Okay, another problem. You start the part, and it's like a pre-stream. Just to get to the video. You're just sitting through ads. And this dude hates video. He hates fucking people who have fucking sponsorships in their videos. Every time he watches a video and they do a little segue into their little sponsorship, he's like, oh my god, sponsorship, oh my god, okay, skip that, man. But every video, we have to sit through fucking an introduction.
You guys want me to watch this week. You ready? Alright. So, this video is interesting because there's been a debate in the gaming communities over the last many years.
Oh man, many years.
Content and video
debates.
Here,
oh god, dude, that's so loud.
Okay. This has been an ongoing discussion that some games, I guess, have either been
Please tell me he lowers it
over the top. And the question is, what do you think about that? Let's see what this person has to say, and then I'll give you my
hey, wait.
Discussion that some games, I guess, have either been censored or some games go over the top. And the question is,
oh my god, I knew I wanted to do a video about this, but I just didn't think it would be enough to actually do a full video, you know what I mean? But, man, this was kind of infuriating, watching this, because he thinks that's either, oh, it's censorship or this, but it's like, it's mostly about the hypocrisy and just the nonsense that comes with it. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
Think about that. Let's see what this person has to say, and then I'll give you my take on it. All right, here we go.
Hey everyone, Gaijin, and
hey everyone.
And so
oh my
Games
god.
Distributor Nutaku
We've watched this before, right? We've watched this guy before. Yeah.
approached me not that long ago and asked to sponsor a video talking.
Oh, I don't care about their
Okay, get out of here. No more sponsorships.
Okay.
This is the oh my god.
All right.
The game.
This is the game. This is their ad, right? All right. The argument.
Teammate does have a not safe for work version that allows you to get intimate with your playable characters as you fight alongside them and build their stats.
I'm gonna say this is a. DSP kind of praises this video, be like, wow, he tied in a sponsorship with a video, man. But it's a little insidious, if you ask me. If you think about it, I mean, just think about it. It's a This is like the kind of shit DSP says is awful, by the way. But he applauded this.
However, this is a completely optional aspect of the game. But, you know, that actually got me thinking about something.
Okay.
It's almost like clockwork when Japan, or really any developer that makes an anime game that includes adult content, it's immediately branded as raunchy, unnecessary, and made for teenage boys to fawn over. But tell me something, guys. Why is it so easy to brand those games as indecent, but then you've got games like God of War, The Witcher, Mass Effect? All of these games have similar adult content in them, like nudity or heavy innuendos, yet we praise them as being superior games that apparently deserve endless sequels, for better or worse. I know the first thing that the opposition is going to bring up is the argument that Western RPGs have much better character development, depth, and story, which makes adult content appropriate as it's more believable. Wherein Eastern RPGs have titillation.
Yeah, because obviously anime, there's no human aspect to that, obviously.
Or it appeals to the most common denominator. Personally, I don't think any of those three arguments actually hold any water when you start looking at Eastern games from an Eastern perspective. The argument that Eastern RPGs lack character or depth, thus adult content feels cheap, and feels like a hollow point because not everyone plays RPGs for the story. I'm
gonna be honest. I don't like the kind of art style in this game. By the way, it just looks very like a mobile game. Like, it just looks like one of those ads you see on Twitter or Tumblr that's like, oh, play this game. And it just looks kind of fake. Like, it just looks like it's cashing in on anime. And there, I think there is some, like, anime shit that is designed to get people to buy it and just on a shallow level. Like, or, you know, whatever. Like, I think that shit does exist. And it's like, games like this, unfortunately. But I don't know, maybe I'm being too mean to this game. But I don't know, I just don't like the animation of it. I don't know, this looks really, really not my kind of game.
If you have a look at the more domestically popular RPGs in Japan, not JRPGs mind, because that basically boils down to Final Fantasy these days. I'm talking Japanese RPG arcade games that use stuff like collectible cards, such as Kantai Collection, which I have played, by the way. From a Western standpoint, games like this are bare bones with little player involvement when it comes to actions, decision-making, and movement. But from an Eastern standpoint, the two things I've noticed people really like in these kinds of games are twofold: stat building and manipulation, and the insane levels of artistic prowess these games present. Numerical strategy and...
This is so weird. I don't even know anything about this style of game.
Oh my god.
You guys know anything about this?
He's explaining. He's explaining it.
Has stats and stuff?
Cards?
See, again, Japanese arcades...
Dude, there's games that have cards and stats like any other game?
Are so different from American arcades. I've never even heard of that. So you would go there and get physical cards out of the machine and then put those into the game, and it does stat building like an RPG, but it's an arcade game?
Yeah, you know, maybe probably because arcades are not like wildly successful in the States versus in Japan. You know, it's more feasible to have arcades there. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
I don't even know about it.
Precision under the icing of stunning visuals is what sells in mainstream Japan. That isn't to say that no game in Japan lacks good story. We've been shown many times before that that isn't the case. But with the booming mobile market, the player preference to stat-driven games, and the cultural history of importance of visual presentation, the Eastern RPG market has eyes for very, very different concepts than the West does. This brings me to my next point.
Okay.
Waifus.
Waifus, baby.
Outside of the internet, we crack jokes about
Here
how
we
baseless
go.
and goofy the concept of someone having a
We crack jokes. DSP never gets the joke and thinks it's genuine. He thinks people are genuinely having waifus. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that do, but I mean, who really fucking cares? You know, there's worse things you could do with your life. You know what I mean?
waifu is, but something you guys got.
By the way, shouts out to this fucking
This brings
facial
me to my next
expression.
point, waifus. I know on the
here
western
we
side of the
go.
internet we crack jokes about how baseless
Look at this. He's just like,
goofy the concept of someone having a waifu is. But
This is
something you guys gotta
so
understand is that entire
judgmental.
franchises of figures, anime, games, lordy, you name it, have insane levels of popularity
he got a little jump scared by that finger. He was like, "Whoa, me? No."
in Japan simply because of design and surface level moe characteristics.
And?
And?
I get it, but
Wait, what?
Games,
What was
lordy,
his point?
You name it, have insane levels of popularity in Japan simply because of design and surface level moe characteristics.
and? I get it, but what's your point?
What? What response was that? The dude's like, "All right, you know, we make fun of waifus, but like, look at this. These characters are designed to be moe and cool, and are well designed, and these are reasons, DSP. Like, okay, you know what? We joke at the Big Bun Game Club. We have a little fun here, and we say like, oh, Theo likes stuff that with their art design, art style, whatever. But there is something about art styles that do matter. When you look at something, the design sticks out to you. Now, DSP is Mr. First Impression this, first impression that, and that's like part of like waifu shit. Like you look at here like Dizzy, for example, from Guilty Gear. Cool color hair, cool eyes. I'm a sucker for any character with red eyes. You know, just she has like an angel wing, a devil or death wing, whatever. Undine and the other one, I can't remember their names. Necro, Undine, whatever. Cool concepts, cool idea, cool design. She has a cool ass tail, whatever. She's like a gear. Okay, she's a gear. Okay, pretty cool. You have Chainsaw Man, power. Fucking horns. I love devil horns. Cool shit. You can never go wrong. You know, whatever. All this stuff's at a surface level. It's just, bam, interested. I want to know more about this character. The only character that I don't really have much of a affinity to, for example, I'm gonna try to think of a Guilty Gear character. I feel like I would have one if I really think about it. I mean, they're all good characters, but I feel like there's one that's like I don't care about, but I can't think of one. Damn it. Spacing on it. Whatever, you know, okay, you know what? I can't think of Guilty Gear just has too much of bangers. They have great character design, so I can't like fucking use one there. But whatever. Man, I can't think of one. I just, you know, watch so many. I just participate in media that have such great character designs. Okay, I got one. Nia from Gurren Lagann. You know, the early, you know, not the time skip one. The one where she comes out of the box. Okay, that one. I never really cared that much about that Nia that much. Like, she's great in the context of the story and all that kind of stuff, but I never really was like, oh, whatever. You know, it was just like, okay, yeah, it's just another one of like, you know, these kind of characters. So I never really cared that much. I only started caring about her when, you know, she got older, because that's like the cool shit. You get like the anti-spiral stuff, you know, whatever. You've seen Gurren Lagann, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But, you know, that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good.
Oh my god, he misses the point yet again. Dude, the dude literally said the designs look good. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good. Means factually nothing. Because that is more of a criticism on just how the populace reacts to something. But the dude's point was that these characters are designed to look cool and all this stuff, which is fine. You look at, like, even Baiken. She's designed and she looks cool because she has an eye patch. She's a samurai woman. I mean, you already have a banger concept right there. Like, come on, think about it. Like, no character design is designed to look like shit. I mean, unless they're like a generic NPC or whatever the fuck. But when they want you to look at a character and empathize or feel anything for it, they try to make them look cool and shit, so you can be more like invested in that character. Like, you know, to a degree. That's why, like, when you watch Ava, which is a banger example, but you have Shinji, Rei, Asuka as like the three main pilots. Now, Shinji is Shinji. You know, you're not gonna fucking think he's cool. He's supposed to be a fucking loser, okay? But you have like Asuka. Okay, Asuka is like a fiery character. I kind of like her hot-headedness, whatever, cool. Then you have Rei. I appreciate the kind of character Rei is. Like, okay, she's like kind of like very, she's learning what it means to be human kind of character or whatever. But I don't really like care about that kind of stuff. It's good for you know, the story, but it's like, yeah, you know, whatever. But I kind of gravitate to Asuka. That doesn't mean Rei is not designed to be cool for someone. You know, all these characters are designed to like appeal to certain people. And he's like, oh, well, just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good. It's kind of an irrelevant argument to a degree, or an adjacent argument to what is actually being said in the video.
Because a million people throw money at it doesn't mean it's quality. You understand? And
dude, look how fucking
doesn't
this dude is so fucking smug over this dumbass take.
It's good. Just because a million people throw money at it doesn't mean it's quality.
Quality. Dude, no, he's not even saying that what you see is quality. He's just saying when you see characters in anime, they're designed to be cool in mind. Like, they're designed to be that way. That's why people like these characters. This dude is brain dead. DSP is brain dead. Like, dude, people like stuff because it's cool. It looks cool. It doesn't mean it's cool, it's popular for the sake of it or whatever the fuck. Like, this, he is arguing something completely different. Just because something's designed to be cool doesn't mean it's gonna have a wide appeal. It just means that the person thought this was cool. Like, oh, I made fucking Black Frost because I think Black Frost is cool, and he is. Okay, Black Frost is fucking cool. Black Frost haters can leave.
You understand? And that's why I think a lot of people have issue discerning between. Just because something is popular doesn't mean that it's worth your time, but so many people want to jump on a popularity bandwagon.
By the way, this is a great, like, I love that the freeze frame that he picked was this anime girl just looks very confused. It's like she's actually listening to DSP. She's like, what the fuck is this dude talking about?
That they just consume it, right? How many people went and saw the Transformers movies?
Oh my god. Dude, this has nothing to do with that. And Transformers, like, there's people who think that's cool. Because the idea of a car that transforms into a mech is a cool idea. Like, it's designed to be cool on paper. This dude is taking this argument and just, like, arguing other aspects of it that are not even the point of the video.
You know?
How
many people went and saw every Fast and Furious? How many people go and buy Kardashian products? Do you think that anything you bought from a Kardashian is quality? Do you think they even had any insight into the product? Or
how do you know?
Or they just slapped their name on a product made in China? You know, they have nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go on and on about things that are popular, but are not.
But again, this has nothing to do with anime. This comparison is stupid because anime is made for many reasons. Yeah, there's some stuff that's designed to make you want to buy something. That's just mobile games. But that's like the nature of the business. But when people like a character, that may or may not be the point half the time. But oh my god, come on.
They are meant to be exploitative of a certain audience that is easily gullible, or...
Dude, you could say that about any piece of media. Like, this is the other like really stupid aspect of this statement, because you could say that literally about any form of media you consume. Anything you watch, anything you buy is designed to make you want to give them your money. They're all designed that way. Everything. Movies, TV shows, games, food, even food, man. Think about it. They have logos and everything that try to like catch your eye. Everything's designed this way. You can sit there and be a cynical little baby about all this stuff in the world that's designed to exploit you, but it's like, who fucking cares? At the end of the day, you like what you like, but this dude is so cynical, just brutally cynical towards anime. For some reason, he thinks anime is all designed to make you want to get a hard on. Just all of it. Every time this dude talks about anime, you think he's talking about fucking hentai. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Easily led astray to think that something is good that's not, and it's designed that way. We have entire things in culture, human culture today, that are 100% meant to be exploitative of the human populace for money. And I think the argument against the waifus and all of that is that it's exploitative.
Oh my god. I've never heard anyone literally fucking argue that waifus are exploitative to this level. Like, the most you hear is that, like, you know, for example, Killer is Dead was a game that Suda51 made, or Suda51 made it, whatever. He made that game. Now there's like missions where you go on dates and like you ogle the woman or whatever. I think it's like gigolo missions, whatever. Those were missions that the publisher told Suda51 to add in the game. Like, he did not want that in the game at all. Like, it was just not, he didn't think about it. But the publisher was like, look, you need to have this because we have this might get people to buy this game. They may like this kind of aspect of it, whatever. There's stuff like that is like forced into games sometimes, and all this kind of shit. There's stuff that's well designed, like in Persona, for example, where the S-Links help you in combat, gameplay, all this kind of stuff. The Gigolo missions in Killer is Dead is like, I don't think they give you anything. They may give you some things, but it's like very like superficial. Like, you could really just play the game and never really think about it. Like, it's that kind of shit. But it's like that again, it goes back to any form of media you consume has some form of corporate meddling into it. A lot of stuff in movies that like, you see some stuff that sucks in a movie most of the time is because corporate CEO boomer people are like, put it in there because it's gonna make people buy it. Yes, add it, do it, fuck it, whatever. There's always stuff like that. So it's just kind of like, at this point, who fucking cares? Just enjoy what you enjoy. Like, you know, like, that's why, like, when I see people get mad about, like, God of War Ragnarok, it's like, well, at least there are people that enjoy these kind of games. I mean, yeah, I would like to see more crazy Japanese games on PlayStation, but, whatever. It is what it is, you know what I mean? Man.
Of people that are looking for a certain kind of content because they don't have that actual kind of stuff in their real lives. Let's continue and see what...
Wait, what? What was it?
Exploitative of people that are looking for a certain kind of content because they don't have that actual kind of stuff in their real lives.
And then we have to make it more pathetic. Like, all these people who have waifus, they're all sad, lonely people who don't have a girlfriend in real life. What about the people who are in a relationship that have waifus? What about that? Like, this dude is so dumb. He takes waifus so seriously. Of course, yes, there are people who are probably insane and do shit like that, but why care? Why think about the extremes? You like, anything in life, any fan base, anything has extremes. There's extreme fanboys, there's extreme haters. Like, you can really spend like your day thinking about the extremes all you want. That doesn't really mean it's worthwhile to think about.
Let's continue and see what he has to say. He's literally saying, oh, but don't you understand? Even though you say it's bad, it's super popular in Japan. That doesn't mean it's good.
Oh my god, he missed the point! This dude literally says these characters are designed to look like, have cool designs and like, just praising the design, because guess what, DSP, these characters, they don't just manifest, they don't just show up and they have jackets on or whatever the fuck. Someone has to think about it, draw it, look at concept art. Like, DSP shits on concept art because, oh, why do I care about this? But the idea of looking at concept art is to see the thought process of character designs, where they start and where they end up. Sometimes the concepts look really cool, better than the final draft. Sometimes you can see why. Sometimes you can see why they may have to scale back a design. Either that the design was too hard on like something that they wanted to save as a plot twist, so it's like, okay, we can't have this, we must remove it. Or it's like, look, this is gonna be a pain to animate, or it's gonna be a pain to deal with. Tone it down. Oh, okay, add more, whatever. There's always stuff that goes on because human beings designed this. And he's like, oh yeah, just because it's popular. Like, that's not what the dude was even saying. This dude really, like, and at this point, I was just thinking, like, this dude is just manufacturing another dude's video to prove his point, which is really pathetic. And this is another issue with his React channel. This dude, when he sees a video that has something adjacent to his point, he will like mold it into his argument so he could like fucking brag about it. This dude spent the entire time watching this video struggling to make the video agree with him. It is insane. Insane.
Good. That doesn't mean, it just means it's popular. It doesn't mean a thing. A sales number doesn't mean shit. So let's see what he's to say here.
Frame arm girls, kimono friends, and the above mentioned Kantai collection. The story in these games and shows aren't exactly all that deep. In fact, most of the time, they're pretty quirky and almost juvenile.
I'm also gonna just say this. I wish this dude was more creative in this video and just showed better stuff. I'm like, this dude is like, yeah, man, anime's pretty cool. Okay, look at the shallow stuff. Huh? Let's take a look at this. It's like, why not show stuff that people consider anime and show how like deep it can actually be? You know, Persona 3 like has a lot of cool ideas and cool themes and all this shit with the characters. It deals with mortality, life, death, struggles, all this stuff. Like, there's a lot of cool character moments, like between Yukari and Mitsuru. I can go on and on about how much I love the character moments in Persona 3. But instead, we get this, of course. And I'm sure you get. It's like fine to like show that even the shallow stuff is interesting. That's fine too. But I don't really recall this dude going into any harder details, or at least we just skip the good examples maybe.
But nonetheless, tons, and I mean tons of people have grown serious personal interest in these characters based on what we in the West would consider small things. There's no universal definition of what a character is required to have in order for the player to feel a deep connection to them. It's why I kind of shake my head and laugh when people say that having an attachment to a potential romantic partner like Liara from Mass Effect is fine and acceptable, but physical romantic content in a JRPG or any Eastern game is inappropriate because the characters aren't, quote, deep enough.
No, okay.
Okay,
so
here we
that
go.
Basically is a statement that it's almost like so because
it's prejudicial. Well, yeah, there's been like this dude was a gamer around the time where a lot of game reviews were kind of putting Japanese games literally down for just being Japanese stuff and doing anime shit. Like, there's stuff that sure can be either translated better or adapted better or whatever the fuck, but a lot of the reviews are just like, this is too weird. Like, it's not even like conceptual. Like, there's a lot of like stuff we could get into, but I'm not gonna try to invite not like deep fucking arguments. You know what I mean?
There's a Japanese game that has an anime style character in it, right? That's meant to be exploitative of the gamer in a way. That's not good. But
wait, what?
There's a Japanese game that has an anime style character in it.
Let's do this again.
So that basically is a statement that it's almost like prejudicial. So because there's a Japanese game that has an anime style character in it, right? That's meant to be exploitative of the gamer in a way. That's not good. But if you have a...
But, okay. I hate how DSP phrases arguments because it's very, what's the word? Is it bias, whatever. He leans it, I guess it's prejudicial, whatever, to his own narrative. He leans it so far because he sees this and is like, oh, well, it's exploitative of the gamer. But, like, I gotta hear it again, sorry.
There's a Japanese game that has an anime-style character in it, right? That's meant to be exploitative of...
That's meant to be exploitative of the gamer. How does DSP know that anime games that have romance in it is designed to exploit the gamer? Or whatever, like, where's the proof of this? I mean, again, it's similar to all these other games, like Mass Effect, that have romance options. All the stuff has the same thing. And he never frames that as the exploitative. But when it's anime, suddenly it's exploitative, and it feeds on lonely people. Like, you look at Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, the most he says is that it's just people who are horny. That's kind of it. He's only mad because it's just full of horny people. But for anime, it's always, oh, it's the waifu people and the people who are lonely and all this stuff. It's very, very telling that this dude genuinely, unironically, believes in the fucking waifu weeb stereotype. Unironically, just thinks that that's what they all are, all of them, no matter what.
Gamer, in a way, that's not good. But if you have a Western-based game that has this kind of character, that's okay because it's more in-depth. I don't know if I agree with that either, you know?
How do you not know? DSP said this argument out loud and ends it with, I don't know if I agree with it. See, this... He says the anime thing is a very exploitative thing, and then the Western thing is deep. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I don't agree with that. You don't have to think about it, because it sounds stupid. Why is one, like, surrounded with exploitation and all of this stuff, but the other one is like, it's pretty deep? What's there to think about? It's pretty straightforward that there is a prejudice, because one is saying it's designed to be a predatory fucking thing, and the other isn't. I don't like that he says, I think. That's the part that kind of, like, is getting to me a little bit.
Maybe on this case, I think that might be a statement that is kind of true.
Kinda true. It's kinda true that anime games are exploitative, but Western shit isn't exploitative. Oh, okay. I mean, and again, Western culture has a lot of shows that are designed to sell toys. The fucking cartoon industry was built from that. The things he fucking liked as a kid. He-Man, Transformers are two of the most, like, G.I. Joe 3 were designed to have cartoons to make kids buy their toys, which he had when he was a kid. And he's sitting there like, oh yeah, the anime stuff, that's a little, that's exploitative. The Western stuff can be pretty deep, so, I don't necessarily know, but, like, I kind of agree with that. Okay.
It's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you spend 40 hours building the relationship to get to the point where it's romantic, or if it's an hour of playing, and then all of a sudden it all happens. You know what I'm saying?
What? Does this dude think that, like, the romantic options in anime games happen within an hour? I mean, you don't get that option. Like, even in Persona, you have to, like, do a lot of S-links to get to that point. You can't just be there. You have to, like, you have to spend a little time to get to that point. It's the same amount of time as any other RPG. It's kind of the same prejudice nonsense he has with Western RPGs and JRPGs, where it's just lame. Like, the Bethesda RPGs, all were slow streams. All of them were slow. But he complained about how slow they are. But he's playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and that had a few slow streams, and he's, like, disappointed and, like, shocked and, like, annoyed that JRPGs don't do well. But it did just as well as the Bethesda games. If not better, I may argue. It's, again, his own prejudice. He has his own that he's so dishonest about. He wants to seem like a very down to earth, like middle of the road guy, but he fucking isn't.
Like, it's still the same. I don't think one's better than the other, right? Anyway.
It's honestly a matter of multinational opinion and taste. But even the argument...
No, it's not multinational opinion and taste. It's...
Dude, you had that stupid fucking point years and for years. For years. Every Ask the King, he was like, well, it depends on different person's tastes. You know, different strokes for different folks, man. And the dude says, yeah, man, it's all different tastes. And this dude's like, wait, no, wait a minute.
Popularity. Other, right?
Like how he responds. He tells us every day, oh, different strokes for different folks. Matter of opinion, whatever. A dude says the same fucking point, and he wants to say they're wrong.
Anyway.
It's honestly a matter of multinational opinion and taste. But even the argument...
No, it's not multinational opinion and taste. It's popularity. There's a difference. See, again...
Who is talking about popularity? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
He's miscategorizing things, right?
You are! This dude is literally watching a video. He skipped around to begin with, by the way, and he's just forcing points. He's not acknowledging what the dude is saying.
Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good. It just means that it's popular for a reason. In Japan, the reason why this shit is...
Oh my god! What statement is that? Listen to what he just said. It's popular for a reason. It's not because it's good. It's popular, but for what reason? Maybe because it's good? Like, there's stuff I don't like, but I can understand why other people like it, because there are aspects of it that can be seen as good from other people. And this dude is sitting there like, well, why is this popular?
Popular is because they have a cultural difference between America, where I live.
Wait,
it
oh
just means
my god.
It's popular for a reason. In Japan, the reason why this shit is so popular is because they have a cultural difference.
This dude literally said it's all a matter of multinational opinion, whatever the fuck, blah, blah, blah. And DSP said no, and then regurgitated his point. This dude is so afraid, terrified of telling a guy who's defending anime games that they have a point. Terrified of that possibility that maybe he is wrong and that dude is right, but no, he wants to say this so that he can get you to agree with him. This dude is pathetic.
Between America, where I live, the United States, and Japan. In Japan, they're very work-centric. They're very antisocial. They're very different.
And then we get this. And like, these are like statistics that he goes off of that like doesn't really paint a picture. Yeah, they all work hard and it's fucked up over there sometimes. You know, they have like nets so people don't jump off the building. I mean, that's fucked up. That's one. But who's to say they're not social? There's all these other things that go on in Japan but you could see things that are adjacent in other areas. Yeah, we don't have hostess clubs in America, but we have strip clubs, we have Hooters, we have bars. Bars can be seen as doing the same kind of shit. We have virtual chat rooms. We have so many things that you could argue are adjacent to what's in Japan. But that's why no one cares. This much about the fucking hostess. He gets so uncomfortable about the hostess clubs. Who fucking cares?
The populace of Japan is incredibly different from the populace of North America. Their whole culture is different. So to them, to spend time and money on a game with virtual girls and relationships is normalized because a lot of them don't have time in their lives for the real relationship. They're having a big problem in Japan.
What if they just can't get relationships? What about, there's a lot of people that have a hard time forming connections. And this dude is acting as if it's like some like cultural thing. I mean, humanity this is gonna sound like a fucking anime thing to say. Humanity is different. And they all come from different walks of life, and they all interact with one another very differently. Whoa.
With having people have real family units and
real
having
family
kids and
units.
stuff. I don't have time for that. Right?
But this is like another problem that's been going around the world for years. Because guess what? It costs a lot of money to have a family. To the point where people are like, I don't have a fucking kid. I can't afford sending this kid to school, doing all this other shit. And whatever. There's all this other stuff that's been going on. That's why there's like all these birth rates are like declining worldwide. I mean, it might be different now. Things change. They all change. I'm not current on this shit, but I remember like a year or two ago, I just saw like a few fucking posts about how the birth rates are dropping. It's like, it's probably because, cost of living is very expensive, and having kids is not cheap.
Why do you think they have a whole normalized culture of go to a cafe and pay a person to have a conversation with?
And it says that this is like normalized. That's not necessarily true. How does he know it's normalized? How does he know no one gets bullied? I mean, I saw a movie, and it's a movie, so of course you take it with a grain of salt. But there was a plot point where a teacher was going to a hostess club, and then everyone in Japan was like, that teacher went to a hostess club. Well, I guess he's very lonely. Oh my god! And it became gossip, and it wasn't like. And I'm thinking that like one of the main character's mothers heard that her kid's teacher was there, and he's like, oh, whatever, who cares? Like, there's a stigma about it, but it's like, whatever. It's just how it is. But like, this is like such a dumb hill to die on, and it's like not even, in my opinion, it's not really relevant to what even the point of the video is. Again, the video is just talking about how people interact with video games and how people just dismiss stuff for the things that they praise in others. That's literally the point of the video, and he's talking about all this other stuff that is like a bigger idea.
You and flirt with you, even though you know that's not ever going to turn into something romantic or real, but you pay for it anyway.
But maybe, dude, this dude is such a dimwit, because maybe since they know it's not real, they won't be able to feel hurt of it not turning out. It's so funny. This dude played the Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth recently, and he got past the part where Ichiban was trying to like go on a date with Psycho, and Psycho turns him down because she wants to stay as friends, and he was a little bummed with that, which, I mean, whatever. Whatever. And I'm sure he's cool with it. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm sure, I can't wait to see where the story is going to go with that. But, there's that realistic feeling of like, oh man, I made it awkward. I was cool being friends, but I just wanted to see if there was anything there. And now, like, we're not talking. What the fuck? But when you go to a hostess club, you know what to expect. And that's also the other thing I've been hearing some people discuss about dating apps and all this stuff, that it cuts the middleman where you just know what you're going in for, and you don't have to like, you don't have to like go over like, oh my god, am I gonna sound weird doing this? It's like both of you know why you're there. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to a bar and trying to like connect. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but at the same time, it's like people just want to go to a bar and just have fun, and they may not be interested in it. So this kind of cuts that out of their risk of like, I don't want to go to a bar and then suddenly a person is hitting on me, that kind of shit. So it's like, that's why these things exist. Whatever. There's all this stuff. Again, this isn't what the video is about. I just can't believe every time we talk about fucking anime, we talk about lonely people and all this other bullshit all the time. But when we talk about Mass Effect, we never talk about it. Why doesn't DS do it? He's playing Mass Effect. Oh my god, romance options for lonely people. Instead, it's like, oh, stupid shit. Like, come on.
Because their culture is different. That doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's popular. Is it even?
Why? And this also makes me beg the question: why does he see Hostess Club as not good? Why isn't it good? Like, wouldn't it be better to have a venue for someone to go to, and then like they both know that it's not real, and then they can just go home and no one has to deal with bullshit? Like, maybe because you don't know how people are gonna react to shit sometimes. Like this dude, it's so ridiculous how he's so negative about everything, and this it could open a can of worms because there's a lot of stuff you can say that other people may say is problematic or whatever. There's all this other bullshit you gotta take this thought process into, but it's like at the end of the day, wouldn't it be better to just have a place where people can go in with the understanding that this isn't real, and if someone oversteps, there's actually people in the establishment that'll just kick them the fuck out, that kind of shit? Like, it's kind of a nice idea on paper, at least, because it allows people to do shit that may be a little problematic to do it in real life for other people. I mean, just... oh my god.
Good for humanity as a whole? I would argue no. It would be better for those people to seek out real meaningful relationships in their life.
But what if no one wants to give them that connection? This dude, he has a wife, and he's acting as if it was the easiest thing. Go back and look and listen to all the little baby rants he had when people are like, oh, DSP, are you gonna get a girlfriend after Leanna left you? And he's like, real girls don't sleep at night. I can't spend time with doing this. I don't have time, man. And all this stuff. He was going fucking unhinged and shit. But he was dating a girl behind the scenes. This dude is such a little bitch about everything. He's like, oh man, he acts as if it's so easy. Not everyone can just walk into a bar and then have every person in the bar interested in them, Phil.
And have a work-life balance where they can actually have a family rather than to dump a bunch of money into a waifu game.
Again, this dude tells you real life is stressful, hard, and all this stuff. This dude doesn't have time for anything, apparently. But apparently, we should all have enough time to date someone. This dude is so fucking stupid and a bitch. He is saying all this stuff while he has a wife, by the way. Like, this dude is so lame.
Then say, well, I'm too busy to have a real woman in my life or a real man in my life, because what do they call husbando?
Husbando?
The male equivalent is husbando, and then for female is waifu or whatever. So I feel like
you know what? I wonder if the reason Kat decided to hate anime was because she was so dumb. She fell for the pignosis that anime is exploitative, and she's like, yeah, I don't like it. I see it, Phil. Now it's exploitative. I don't like things that exploit people. And it's like, dude, it's so stupid to go around life thinking about that, because technically everything's exploitative. Everything.
It's just not healthy for humanity. It doesn't matter if it's popular.
How do you know it's unhealthy? Think about it again. Like, as I said, what's to say that the dude who's going there knowing it's fake or whatever wouldn't do something crazy if that didn't exist? What about that? What about that, Phil? I mean, it's kind of like the same argument. Like, half the people that wanted to participate, who wanted to smoke weed and all this stuff, if they could get weed legally, they may not have to go to shady means to get weed and then have to deal with maybe getting upsold on cocaine or anything. Like, you're taking out the risky factor of buying drugs when you offer weed legally. Like, it's that kind of shit. Wouldn't it be better to have legal ways that are safe and protected to do certain things than having them go to such risky areas or do risky things that may not be great for either party? Like, there's a lot of stuff you can kind of think about that have bad outcomes. But having a dude go to a hostess club, the outcome isn't that bleak or negative in comparison with what could happen.
Just, it's what they do over there because they're
again. This isn't even the point of the video. This is a thing that's deep-seated into DSP's fucking personality, that he is convinced that Japanese media, anime, all this stuff is all exploitative and designed to lure lonely people to fawn over their games and fucking jerk off. But you could say that about the porn industry and everything, which is clown world. Who would really rally behind, let's censor the internet because there's porn on it? Like, it's fucking stupid. And this dude is saying, they're like, oh yeah, man, like, this is really bad. It is so insane that he has such this deep-seated fucking opinion on stuff that's not even relevant to the video he's fucking watching.
Culture's different, but that doesn't mean their culture's better.
But guys, he isn't racist or xenophobic at all. But he just has these xenophobic thoughts about other cultures because... Figure it out.
It doesn't even mean their culture's okay, you know? How can you it's popular? It's just, it's what they do over there because their culture's different, but that doesn't mean their culture's better. It doesn't even mean their culture's okay, you know?
Dude, the culture shit, the cultural opinion side of it, it's mostly talking about, like, some people may not like it because they either don't get some of the stuff in anime. Like, again, like you watch like Gurren Lagann, for example, and it's like they talk about human evolution through drilling, through drills, spiral energy. Oh, they pierce the heavens, they go to space, they break the ceiling of space. Like, this stuff is like, it'd be like, what the fuck is this? You know, whatever. But that's different. I mean, the cultural opinion is the stuff that's like subjective. Again, you could sit there like, not for me, whatever. But this dude has such a violent opinion about it. Like, again, I've seen people who are not into anime that can articulate way better than DSP about not liking it. They just say, I don't get it, and then that's it. But DSP is like, they exploit people and they kill people. Not kill people, but he says exploit people and all this other bullshit that kind of puts people down. Again, if you're not into it, that's fine. But the thing that makes DSP a massive clown is that he played anime games before. He likes Persona 4, the game that heavily introduced way more than Persona 3 anime junk in Persona, in a way. But whatever.
How can you tell me that a virtual thing is better than something that's real?
Again, the video has nothing to do with saying that waifus are as equivalent as real relationships. But no one is arguing that virtual relationships are better than real relationships. That's not an argument anyone is fucking having, stupid. Like, no one is having this argument. The only reason people argue with Phil about waifus is because this dude's so fucking arrogant, and it's just a circular argument. Because I think even to a point, someone said, well, people say waifu because they're joking because they like this character. Yeah, but it's not real. And it's like, you'll just never argue. You'll never see eye to eye because this dude refuses to look through other people's perspective. He says how we all must see other people's perspective, but he never does. When people are willing to have a conversation about this dumb shit.
Don't understand that, you know? And again, why are these games popular? Because they're predatory. Because they know.
See, again. He before he's like, well, the other one is, but I don't know if I agree with that, but then he doubles down on anime games being predatory. Motherfucker, there's so many predatory shit out there that's not from anime itself, stupid. Anyone can be predatory to consumers. That's why people get so annoyed when companies want to have digital-only games, because that's predatory in a sense, if you think about it, because it makes you want to buy the game so you can always own it, because you don't know, they could delist it, they could get rid of it, and all this stuff, they could control the marketplace. But this dude doubles down on all these companies instituting anti-consumer fucking policies. But this dude will look at anime and be like, this is predatory. Okay, like, and you could also see Microsoft buying all these companies like Bethesda, buying Activision, all this as a predatory business practice because they're buying companies. But DSP just said, they need to buy them now, let them buy, and all this other bullshit. But that's not predatory, apparently. Was Disney predatory when... I guess Disney wasn't predatory when they were buying Marvel and Star Wars, correct? Like, it's stupid.
That the culture's different over there. They know that the people are so heavy into work, no real time for real life. So then this is their solution. This is not a solution. This is a way for
Again, you could sit there and argue that cape shit movies are predatory because they're banking on people who don't want to go to the movie theater and buy a ticket and be disappointed. Cape shit is ideally the safest movie to go to because you'll know what to expect. So that's why you see a lot of action movies, because they're safe movies. They know people will go and see an action movie. That's not predatory? That they shove movies into the box office that are all Marvel movies? But we don't see that as predatory, apparently. But why do we see anime games as predatory? Oh, because in Japan, they have a statistic where this is the case. But that you could say that about anything. I mean, more and more countries are workaholic countries. I mean, America, you have to work a lot, too. I mean, it's not cheap living here either. Come on.
prey upon that populace and to get filthy rich off of sad people who don't have time for real human connections.
Again, you could say that about video games as a whole. As a whole. This dude is so stupid because when you see a game and they have all these characters that are well written, you could say this about anything. But he's only targeting anime games. Like, why is he so, like, violent towards anime games in this way? But then when people, like, press him more, it's like, no, look, if you like it, that's fine. But they're predatory. What the fuck?
It's fucked up, in my opinion. And he's like, oh, well, you just don't understand. No, I do understand.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because, again, sure, you could argue that there's anime games that are predatory. But, again, if they're mobile games as a whole are a predatory industry. It's not anime games are alone in this. This dude plays WWE Champions, Street Fighter Duel. He doesn't consider those predatory? The games that have events and, like, that want you to rush in with money, all the stuff that's designed for you to spend money, those are not predatory? But, oh, if they have a fucking girl in them with boobs, bam, predatory. Why? But this dude will just not concede. He'll trip into that argument. He'll trip into proving that point, but he'll never acknowledge the hypocrisy. This dude is a fucking clown. Like, this whole video just really shows how this dude has such a prejudice against anime for no reason.
I just don't agree with it. Okay?
You know what, guys? Be on the Big Button Game Club, Retro and Just Gamer John were telling me, Theo, we gotta get Theo into wrestling. You know what? I'm not into wrestling. I think wrestling is for lonely people that want to do cool moves and want to pretend that they're buff, strong people. Because in reality, wrestling is very predatory. Think about it. They have mobile games where you get buff men JPEGs, and you gotta spend money on that. Predatory. You have to do pay-per-view. You have to pay money to see it with all these little events and all these other wrestling events, all this stuff. There's this, there's that. There's so many wrestling stuff, guys. I think wrestling might be a little predatory, so I'm not into it. Look, if you like it, that's fine, but it's very predatory and exploitative. You're being exploited by wrestling, okay? Vince McMahon is exploiting you, and I heard that he's in hot water, and that's why. Wrestling is very predatory and exploitative. I don't need to research. I don't need proof. I just know, okay? Because these things exist, and all this stuff happens. So therefore, wrestling is bad, and it is for pathetic, lonely people, obviously. And if you tell me that I'm wrong, clearly, look, it's a culture difference, and it's a matter of opinion, and all this stuff. Imagine how cool I would be if I genuinely believed that. Like, that's how he sounds. This dude is a clown.
Development in Eastern games is shallow makes me laugh. Do you know how many role-playing games exist specifically to deeply develop relationships between the player and the NPCs?
And why? But why? And why is that okay? It's a fucking video game. You shouldn't be getting a deep relationship with a video.
You know, it's so funny that this dude is saying this, but this dude always says, as long as no one gets hurt, people shouldn't get hurt. No one gets hurt. Be safe, be safe, be safe. these people who are doing this are being safe. They're not hurting anyone. They're not getting hurt emotionally. They're not causing hurt on someone else. They're not doing crazy shit to someone. They're just minding their business, having fun with their free time. And he's like, this is wrong. You know, like, this is like a very controlling attitude to have. And it really, really makes me really wonder how DSP acts with his wife. And imagine if he had a kid. Imagine. The kid will come home and he'll just be watching Kekagiri. If you know that anime, you know. And DSP walks in, like, what are you watching? Turn that off! This is not my fucking household. You're not watching a show where a character gets fucking climactic over fucking gambling. Get out of here. Now go watch Hulk Hogan.
Video game character. Have it with a real person. It's a little different.
I acknowledge there are a bunch of dating sims that have flimsy character building so the player can quickly get to the action, as it were, but there are tons and tons of games in Japan that are all about fleshing out characters the player wants to build relationships with and the development of that relationship. Like, that's the entire game. So, I have a hard time believing that just because something looks anime and has adult content, it's automatically cheap. Finally,
but again, I kind of wish he picked better examples than just specifically these kind of games. Because again, they're designed to be dating sims. And I mean, I get it, but I think it could be a little more enthralling to show, you know, good games that are interesting. But whatever.
The issue of lowest common denominator when it comes to these games. Because this is the harshest and most unfair judgment of all. When it comes to not only gaming, but pretty much any form of media in the West, especially the United States, public acknowledgement of sexuality of any kind is shamed immediately. I mean, geez, I'm running a massive risk right now just bringing up the concept of mature content in media. I'd actually be surprised if this video doesn't get labeled as not ad-friendly. The only reason we felt like we could even do this in the first place is because
oh my god, can we please drop? I think a lot of YouTubers now, because this is a 6-year-old video, have finally moved away from making jokes about YouTube ad revenue. We just need to move on as a society.
Nah, tell me it isn't.
I guess because that was the game. That was actually smart. He partnered. He wanted to talk about the topic, and he was able to partner it in with a sponsorship. So if he gets demonetized,
but that's kind of flimsy though, if you think about it, because you could just bring up fucking Persona. You could bring up a lot of other stuff. You know what I mean?
He still made. That was actually smart. I'll give this guy
Guilty Gear, Chainsaw Man. Why not?
On that. He did a smart thing there. That was a good one.
True. In any sort of public forum, any form of discussion on that level is seen automatically as taboo, inappropriate, and apparently completely not ad-friendly. But when it comes to violence, blood, and gore, perfectly acceptable.
This I will absolutely agree with, for sure. Why is it that extreme gore, right, is totally okay in society, but you know, every time
it's kind of because parents are afraid to have to explain to their kids what sex is. I mean, you can go on. I mean, that's just one example.
That's bad. It's either one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Or you find the medium. But why is it that the gore is allowed? There's so many shows on TV right now with people being beheaded, shot, murdered, cut apart, right? And they're not even like considered taboo. That's just fine. But then when it gets to anything that comes to sexual, it's like, oh my god, 18 plus, super adult.
You know, this is really clown world for DSP to say this when he has compared watching sex scenes or whatever as with his wife as sitting there watching sex with your parents or some shit. Like, it's really, he really acts weird about it. He's like acting as if it's nonchalant a big deal. Like, come on.
That is a weird thing, I would say. In our culture, I don't understand it. That's a head scratcher for me. That one is allowed and the other isn't. I think that it's either both or neither. Not one is okay, the other isn't. They're both considered mature for adults. So, well, I don't get that.
Seen as something mature, but not inappropriate in particular circumstances. Other places like Japan, on the other hand, almost uniformly censors extreme violence like graphic dismemberment, disemboweling, and intense gore. Even in some of the country's most violent scenes of popular games and shows, the graphic nature of intense violence is either inferred or artistically censored. Honestly, if you look at it from their perspective, it wouldn't be too hard to believe that we are the shallow ones taking such pronounced joy in death and violence.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Neither side really has any room to judge the other because it's all about cultural perception. No matter how biologically similar we are as humans, our beliefs, morals, and culture will always define our perceptions differently. But that doesn't mean we as a species are doomed to prejudices. If we collectively could stop, listen, and think about these things from the opposite perspective, I think this would be a far smaller issue. We don't necessarily have to agree on everything. However, I think we would be far better off.
This video, I
to find resolution. But thanks for watching, everyone.
This video ended on a wet fart. It was just like, yeah, man, we're all different, man. We all need to like sing Kumbaya. Like this video really had no point, in my opinion, because it kind of ends that we need to understand why it's okay to censor one thing or the other or whatever the fuck. Like, what's his stance on this? Come on, pick a lane, man.
I listen. I've said this many times too. If someone likes that kind of content, then more power to them.
Dude, you just said it was predatory. What? Okay.
We'll say this, right? If you partake in this kind of mature gaming content, and that is the extent of that in your life, meaning you don't seek out.
Again, this little qualifier of like, oh, you know, it's fine if you do this, but if you do this too much, then blah blah blah. Like, what does that like? How do you know what I do in my fucking spare time? Why does he care so much what other people do in their free time to this level, to this extent? Like, it should it be just enough to not to hope that no one's getting hurt? But no, this dude is like, well, don't get too invested. Like, fuck off. Like, so, like, oh my god, man. Like,
a meaningful relationship with another human because you're literally.
Why do I need, like, why do people absolutely need to be with another person? Like, biologically, it makes sense because we all want to pass on our genes and all this other, like, all this other nonsense. I'm gonna call it nonsense. Fuck it. But again, wouldn't it be better to like just live your life how you want? Like, yeah, I mean, as long as they're not going down the street with double chainsaws and throwing into people's houses, right? No one's doing that. They're just staying home on their phone legally and being a law-abiding citizen. But like, why does it matter? Why? Like, this dude frames it as if like we all need to be in a relationship. We all need human contact and all this. Like, it's a requirement. What kind of life is that? Like, I kind of think that's actually a bad mindset to have when it comes to being with other people. You shouldn't want to be with another person because you have to.
Spending all your time and money dumping it into that is sad. That, you know, you have ample opportunity to have a real life situation. There's more than enough people on this planet that there's someone for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
How do you know?
And
how do you know, Phil? Find me my girlfriend, okay? You know, I want DSP to like be like, Theo, your girlfriend's over there. He's right. She's right down the street. Go to her.
If you just actively choose
oh my god,
that over the real, that's sad.
This dude is so lame. He's like as if people like are just like real girls, nah. JPEGs, yeah. Like, how does he know what people think about in their spare time? Again, who fucking cares? What if there's no one for them? Like, this attitude, like, I get the idea of like, yeah, you know, if you hang in there, you'll eventually find someone for you, and I get that. But at the same time, you don't know that either. It's just as much of a gamble to say that as it is to say there's no one out there for you. They're both equivalent. It's kind of like how do you see a glass half empty or half full? It's that kind of shit where it's like you'll either see one thing or the other. You don't know. Life is just fucking spontaneous. But people who do this stuff with waifus and all this stuff, they're probably just doing it because it's a time killer, or whatever. If they're taking it to unhealthy like things, removing the waifu stuff isn't gonna make them magically better. Like, an alcoholic isn't gonna magically be a functional person if you just remove the alcohol in their life. They have to be like supported. They need to have a support unit for them. There's a lot of aspects with it that go hand in hand with it. You can't just throw them into the wolves and be like, okay, it is what it is. If they're really if they're really in that kind of position. But again, why care or think automatically this thing has that kind of thing? You can see without anything. But okay.
I'm not gonna sit here and judge anyone and say, "Oh, shame on."
He literally called them sad. If you do this, you're sad. But I'm not gonna judge you. I got it. He's not gonna judge you if you're a well-adjusted individual that has a waifu. But if you're not well-adjusted and you just have a waifu and all this shit, then you'll get judged on. Then it'll be okay to judge you.
You for liking your waifus and husbandos. But at the same time, at some point in your life, you would think you're gonna get old enough, you're gonna mature up and say it's time for the real thing, right?
Like, and this condescending attitude, he does this with everything. Just how he talks to the viewer. Who does he want to accommodate with this? Or whatever. You think this is good content? To sit there and talk to them like they're fucking children? Once you mature, you'll understand. Like, fuck off. Like, fuck off. Like, this fucking attitude of like, oh yeah, I know better than you, but guys, you just need to mature. Dude, you fucking make poo jokes. The last person I want to hear about being mature is from you, dumbass.
But at the same time, too, people who revel in the violent shit, too, I think is fucked up. Like, there's some people who are so into, like, gore and horror and stuff, and I don't understand that either. Listen, I like a good slasher flick, right?
Oh my god. And then he's like, then he just throws in this stuff as an addendum to be like, see you guys, I'm not that mean, but he called them fucking pathetic. But then he says, with gore, I don't get it. Oh, I see slasher movies, but like, gore, man. But who fucking cares? It's a style. Like, you watch Evil Dead. Like, this dude, like, apparently liked Evil Dead. Evil Dead is a gory, dumb fucking movie. All of them are. And that's kind of the appeal. To see how corny it is. Like, it's campy schlock that's really good.
Sit there, my whole hobby existence is to be super absorbed.
And again, go to extremes. Go to extremes to make a point. Ah, yes.
Gore and horror and dismemberment and demons and monsters and fucked up satanic shit. Some people are like that too. It's like, if everything in life, there's gotta be this.
So what? Like, this dude and his fucking fixation on moderation can fucking go off a cliff. Like, shut the fuck up.
Happy medium, right? The balance in life, moderation. And I think the problem isn't that this exists. The problem is,
I don't know, DSP. This whole video has just been you being very upset that this shit exists.
It becomes so predominant in certain cultures. In Japanese culture, this kind of mature content gaming is so predominant.
Again, how does he know that's all it is in Japan? This dude is acting as if this is the predominant thing in Japan. Does he live in fucking Japan? No. How does he know? Yakuza, there's like waifu shit in that, so that must mean it exists. The game forces you to a hostess club, so it must be a predominant thing. Okay.
But then it's at the expense of real life relationships, and that's the sad part of it. You know what I mean?
Again, you could say that about literally everything. There are people who just want to stay home and watch movies all day. There are people who want to just play games all day. There are people who want to do all this other stuff. There's a lot of shit out there that's bad, that can drain people's lifetime. And all this shit. It has nothing to do with, see, this is designed to be predatory. It's just human nature, dumbass.
So, listen, other thing you always, I need to say this, people should respect other people's opinions on it, all right?
I don't respect your fucking opinions, because you don't respect anyone. This dude is like, you should respect my opinion to not like this. I would, if this dude was a fucking person, not a fucking dumb pig monster man. This fucking dumbass sits there and just judges people, and then he watches his video, doesn't really comprehend the point the dude is making, and then just warps it into his own point. The dude says, oh, these characters are designed to be cool, are designed to look cool. Oh, it's because it's popular. Like, okay, whatever. That's not really the point he's talking about, but okay, whatever, Phil. And then this dude goes on and say that if you do this, then you need to be doing moderation. Oh, this culture's this way because that's how it is, man. How does he know the culture? He hasn't been there.
I don't necessarily agree with this guy, but I'm also not going to hate on him. I'm not going to call him a loser. I'm not going to be a jerk about it, right?
Yeah, but this dude has not been fair to the fucking video the whole time. He was just trying to spin it to prove his own fucking point. He hasn't been sitting there, like, actually listening to it and trying to understand, because he already made up his mind. He warps the one part of the video where he's saying, well, in Western RPGs, there's romance options, and that's fine, but when a JRPG has romance options, then we all roll our eyes and say it's cringe or whatever the fuck. And DSP warps that into saying, well, this in JRPGs, it's predatory, and this or that. And then in Western RPGs, it's like deep. I don't know if I agree with that, but like, I kind of get it, man. Like, dude, you couldn't disagree. You have no you had to hesitate into thinking about disagreeing with an obvious bias. And that's my complaint with this video. It's 7 minutes, and he doesn't really extrapolate or really build on anything. His point kind of meanders, and it's kind of a soft point video essay. It doesn't really make a good argument, and it kind of comes off as a light advertisement for the game that they were sponsored by, which kind of makes me a little bit more hesitant to say more, to give this dude any more credit for the argument he's making, because I kind of don't think he really applied much brain power with it, because there's a lot of mainstream Japanese games that had to put up with, this is too anime. Oh, this is for weep shit, when it's like, it's just fucking nonsense. So yeah, I don't really like the video DSP watched, but again, this is a 6-year-old video, so who knows the scope of this dude's channel at that time.
If someone's into it, fine. If you choose not to be into it, that's also fine.
Yeah, but the people who are not into it are not obnoxious about it. DSP is the most obnoxious person who isn't about waifu stuff. And the thing is, he's against stuff that makes no sense. Again, like, people told him to romance a character in Baldur's Gate 3. He doesn't want to because he's married, but he doesn't want to at least see how different the character interaction is, and maybe you'll get like interesting segments or anything like that. He doesn't think of it like that, and just sees any romance option as just a shallow, oh, insert yourself into this and you can fuck them too if you just believe, or whatever the fuck. Like, he just sees it in that kind of way. But there's interesting stuff, like if you romance characters in Persona, you get interesting segments. And again, I'm gonna dog on Persona 4 because, again, I really felt they fucking dropped the ball with Yukiko. Her S-Link is the biggest waste of time. Her S-Link story starts off as like, she feels trapped. She feels like she's a bird in a cage. Her even character arc is about that. And her S-Link is about her just trying to experiment and try to go outside of her realm of like what she thinks that she knows or whatever. She wants like to try new things. The S-Link ends with her liking the birdcage pretty much. And I'm just like, she doesn't really have any meaningful interaction with any new stuff that makes her like think of anything. She just has a lightly bad experience with stuff that's like kind of adjacent to what she wants to do. But it's like, why not just have her want to try something new? Why have her be like, and that's kind of what I thought was kind of weak. Meanwhile, you have character moments in like Persona 5. Honestly, I think is pretty good, where she kind of goes through an issue where she wants to get stronger. She wants to build up her strength for Shio's sake, and she wants to show that, like, to support her and all this other stuff. And it's kind of a unique story. Makoto, I feel, could have been better. I think that's the only one that's kind of the weakest one, and I kind of feel like they had a good moment with Makoto to actually build up on that character, but whatever. But there's stuff like that that's genuinely interesting. But DSP would never do that because, oh, he's married. So he would never know.
Have the ability to make the decision for themselves. What irks me is that people make judgments on people based on this stuff. So don't think this guy's a loser. At the same time, don't...
So get this, right? He is mad that people are judging him for not wanting to do romance options in video games. And I'm being very kind with just saying that. Because I could say I could go through anime shit, but whatever. Romance options. He gets mad, so mad, about people judging him on that. But he is so fast to judge people for having waifus. Or just wanting him to do the, like, romance options. He judges everyone so much, but when you judge him, he gets fucking mad. Man, DSP, I wonder why people get so pissed off when you judge them. And then when you don't want to do something, they just start judging you. Huh, interesting.
Get on my case, because when I'm playing a video game, I don't feel like partaking in that kind of content. Listen, that's makes me uncomfortable.
But again, how do you know the extent of the content? He didn't want to do the virtual dating shit in Judgment or whatever the fuck, because he said he was married and it's stupid. But how does he know? What if it's funny like that? You know that dating minigame in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth? There was a moment where it's this dating minigame. You pick options, you do like a quick time event or whatever. I did that minigame and I passed it, and DSP just didn't want to do it at all and just sped through the tutorial and just did not give a fuck, so he intentionally failed the mission. You could tell he didn't want to do it, so he just kind of went out of his way to make sure he couldn't do what the game was wanting him to do. But if he did, he would realize that it was a catfish joke where Ichiban did this, and then at the end he went to a hotel and it was just some guy. Like that was the joke. Like they sent all these pictures like, it's a woman. Then you go there and it's like some dude. It's like, oh god, like that kind of shit. But he didn't want to do it because he was so terrified that they were gonna have Ichiban have sex.
I'm playing a video game and there's a romance option. Like, I don't want to do a fucking romantic thing in front of a live audience. That's weird. That would be like...
This dude literally has a video of him looking at porn movies. I know it's on DSP Gaming or his vlogging channel, but there's a video of him looking at pornos with his girlfriend on YouTube. And this little bullshit prude nonsense is so dumb because he already did it. And you know what? This dude fucking fapped to his audience. Like, this dude is really saying he'd be embarrassed doing romance shit in video games? Motherfucker, you fucking fapped on camera. And I know he says, well, you didn't see my dick, man. But honestly, you did the whole the fucking face shit is kind of goofy. That's like, honestly, if I were fapping and the camera was on, even if you saw my face, I'd be fucking embarrassed. I mean, maybe I get over it, maybe, but it's embarrassing. And this dude is telling us he'd be embarrassed by watching romance options as this dude fapped on camera. Are you fucking for real, dude? Come on. And this dude is already an embarrassment on fucking YouTube. And this dude is like acting squeamish. And even that aside, let's take out the fap incident. Let's say that never happened. This dude literally did romance options on fucking YouTube before. He did it before. So what's to be embarrassed about? Is he terrified that we'll see him be a shitty person as a date? But I mean... why would you play a game intentionally being a bad date? You know what I mean? So this little point makes no sense. It factually makes no sense coming from DSP. Like, this is like me saying I don't want to talk about anime, guys. I'm embarrassed. I don't want you guys to. I'm done talking about it. Okay. And it's like, Theo, you talk about fucking Kill la Kill, Kekigiri, Ava, Gurren Lagann, Brand New Animal. You talk about all these dumbass shows. Now you're embarrassed. Like, that's how dumb it would sound.
Watching a movie, a rated R sexual movie, with family members in the room.
Dude, my parents showed me a fucking Clockwork Orange. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this. I was what, 12? I think I was like 12 or 13. I was like really young for that movie. Literally, I would not show. No, I would not show a kid a Clockwork Orange. That movie's a very fucked up movie. I could not register what that movie was about when I was a kid, obviously. So I was like, oh, I mean, it was really just the sex scenes were the only thing that stood out, which is really fucked up because I watched it again and I was like, I don't know if I like the movie or hate the movie because on one hand, I kind of think it's funny that Stanley Kubrick got Warner Brothers to fucking put their name behind that movie, because I can't imagine if I were a film director and I pitched this movie, I cannot imagine this movie being financed at all. Like, I just could not imagine it. No one would want this movie because the thing is, no one in the movie is a good person. Everyone sucks. Like, it is the pinnacle of what it means to have an entire movie full of people that are bad. You have fucked up cops, fucked up prisoners, fucked up situations, fucked up everything. Like, there's not I cannot remember a single moment that was like a good moment. It was just that fucked up. So it's like, on an artistic level, I do kind of appreciate that it made the risk of it being so fucked up. It's a fucked up movie. But I don't know if I could watch it again. I watched it 2 times. I watched it once as a kid, and a second time as an adult. And it's like, I don't think I'll want to see this movie ever again. The only way I'd probably watch it if it was gonna be like erased from everything, because then it's like I need to see it before it goes. But other than that, I don't know if I'll ever see it again because it's such a very, very heavy movie. It's the one movie that's like, I cannot recommend it, and it's not a movie that's like, oh, it's like, it's not Death Stranding, where it's like, I can't recommend it because of what it is. I just can't recommend it because it may fuck you up. It's a very fucked up movie. And this dude is like acting as if like he watched that. Like, come on, get out of here.
Do that either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have an audience for that. If you choose to do that stuff privately, that's fine. But understand people's choices and reasons for not partaking in content. You know what I'm saying? So don't judge people on it.
But I just want to hear it again.
But privately, that's fine. Family members in the room. I don't want to do that either. Romantic thing in front of a live audience. That's weird. That would be like watching a movie, a rated R sexual movie.
This is a Zoomer take. There's been a thing going around where Zoomers are just saying, "Oh, we should remove the sex scenes from Oppenheimer. Oh, we should get rid of the sex scenes." And it's like, I get it. Like, Game of Thrones to me was a show. I could not get into that show from day one. I really just did not like Game of Thrones. It was just kind of like a what's it called, sunken time fallacy, whatever. Where it's like, yeah, okay, I gotta see how it ends, and it was just all a mess. But even then, it's like, yeah, this is like too much sex scenes, and it's like I don't need this much. I mean, there's a limit, sure, but I'm not against movies having it. And these people just saying like, oh, it's like watching a rated R movie with a sex scene and your family members in the room. Like, I don't give a fuck that much about it. I mean, come on.
With family members in the room. I don't want to do that either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have an
Do you only,
audience for that.
so does he only watch family-friendly movies with his parents? Okay, Mom, we can only watch The Lion King.
If you choose to do that stuff privately, that's fine. But understand people.
But it's such a wild comparison too, because the sex scene is just a scene in a movie it's designed. I mean, I do think you need at least some kind of like build up to it. I mean, which sounds kind of funny, but you know what I mean. Like it needs to have like a build up to it.
Choices and reasons for not partaking in content. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, it could also be a
don't
scene,
judge people
whatever.
on it either. Maybe that's one of the problems. Maybe the
But
difference.
again, I wouldn't judge people if someone is like, look, I don't want to watch sex scenes or whatever. That's fine, you know, great, good for you. But the reason why people give DSP a hard time is because he's so obnoxious about it. Like he like brags about how he doesn't want to look at romance options in video games, and then he automatically shames them. Like he says like. It could even be the slightest thing. No one could be even saying anything, and he'll just be, oh my god, sexual stuff, oh my god, and he'll just be like freaking out anyway.
If you choose to partake in this content and you do it privately, who gives a shit? But what about people who make it all about, oh my god, look, I got fucking posters of it all over. I wear clothes with the boobs hanging.
Dude, people have posters of it are that's in their own home. He's acting as if like people will go around and put the posters up wherever they go. They go to your house, they put the posters up. It's like I'm hanging out at your house. I need my booby posters up. Okay, I need to put my waifu up. I can't hang out with you unless you have Biken on the wall. Okay, Biken's not there. I'm not there. like what does that matter? Oh, and then he's like, oh, and the shirts like. Who fucking cares? It's a shirt. This is the same dumb shit. My brother went to school and he had a shirt that had a marijuana leaf on it, and the school was like, this shirt's inappropriate. Inside out. They either told him to turn the shirt inside out or to go home. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking leaf. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, he sees a leaf. Oh, you know. I would never have smoked weed if it wasn't for a shirt that had a marijuana leaf on it, obviously. Like, who fucking cares?
Out and shit, you know, on the anime character on my shirt, and it's like,
what about like the anime design? Like look, I have this shirt. I like the art style. I mean, oh, there's cleavage, but there's also a disembodied head. Dude, it's a double whammy. It's gore and sexual. Whoa.
What? Why
what?
Is your whole life, why is your fucking anime avatar on everything you do? Like,
what if I like the character? This dude is so lame. He's so lame. Why is your Twitter profile Elfel, Theo? Because Elfel's fucking cool. She's like a goofy, silly, fun character. Sorry, I like having fun, stupid.
You realize that's not who you are, right? You're not an anime.
Whoa, I'm not Elfelt? Guys, I DSP just broke the news. I'm not Elfelt. Oh fuck. DSP, your logo is just DSP Reacts. Are you DSP Reacts? No, you're Phil Burnell. This dude is so lame. Like this dude, like I can't get over it. I can't get over it. Why is your anime profile picture on everything you do? Why does it matter? Why does my profile picture need to be my real face? Why do I need my real face to be my profile picture? Sorry, I'm not as boring as you are, where my only personality is like my name and how I look. You know what? DSP's personality, like DSP, the way he portrays himself, he's only fascinated by just how he looks. Literally, this dude is so narcissistic. He's saying, why does everyone have anime profile pictures? But this dude in any video game is fixated on making him. And like, it's so lame. People, like, yeah, you could say, like, fan art's not really massively exercising creativity, but it's more creative than making yourself. To a degree, you can kind of understand someone over that. Like, people can look at Elfel and kind of understand me. Like, I was looking at the lyrics of her theme in Strive extras, and I kind of was surprised. There's a lot of lines in that song that kind of like I relate to a little bit. It's like, oh man, I kind of feel for Ethel's character a little bit more because it's, you know, she's very passionate about who she is. She's also insecure about herself in some ways, but she's okay with it. It's really a cool character. I kind of like Ethel more and more because she kind of follows an arc of like embracing the cringe and being okay with it, which I think is important. People should be okay with their cringy side because that's how you understand yourself, man.
You're a real person. Time to wake up. I guess to the point of obsession, right? Sometimes these people, they think they're like virtual animated characters.
This is really like he looks at those Twitter accounts that are just role playing. But it's Twitter. It's a Twitter account.
Nah. You're not. That's not who you are. You're a real human on planet Earth. You don't live in anime land. But some people are crazy. They think they do.
Anime land. I live in Guilty Gear land, guys.
Let's continue. Let's see what the next video is.
Okay. We're done with that. Oh my god, dude. This is gonna be a long video. I did not expect to get an hour-long video out of that. Oh my god. You know what? Okay. I'll make this a separate video because it's gonna be like a 10-hour video, so this will be a separate video. So thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna record another video right after, so get hyped, I guess. First time of many that I get to. I'm announcing I'm making another video after a video. Oh man, thanks for watching this one.